Hello friends, welcome back to General Surgery ADC. Today we are going to discuss one of the frequently asked short note during many of the UG as well as PG theory examination, that is lasers in surgery. In this video we are going to deal with this topic in detail so that you can retain many of the points to write in your theory examination. Okay, what is laser? Laser is the short form of light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation. Let us start the topic with history. Theodore Maiman was the one discovered laser in 1960 from energized solid ruby. Later in 1962, Dr. Goldman used the laser in medical field. Okay, what are the components of the laser? Laser consists of a medium and two parallel mirror. Of which one of the mirror will be completely reflecting, other mirror will be partially transmitting, and there will be a power source that is to energize the medium. So the laser beams produced from the medium will get reflected from the mirror and get arranged into the laser beam, and we will get the output. So this is the coherent laser beam. Here partially the beams get reflected so that we will get a coherent laser beam. Now let us try to understand how these laser beams are produced in the medium. The medium contains many atoms of that particular substance. As you all know, each atom contains a nucleus and orbit. In the orbit there will be electrons. These electrons are excited with the help of electric power. So the electron from its ground state get excited to its metastable state by acquiring energy. But these electrons have the tendency to come back to its ground state by releasing this energy in the form of photons. So the electrons at the metastable state will come back to its ground state by releasing energy in the form of photons. These are photons. These photons are released randomly in many directions. So with the help of two parallel mirrors, we will arrange these photons into a coherent laser beam. Next is regarding the properties of the laser. The three major properties of the laser are collimation, monochromicity and coherence. What do you mean by collimation? From an ordinary light source, the light beams are scattered in all directions. These light beams are not parallel. But in case of laser, all beams are collimated. That is, they are parallelly arranged. This is one of the very important property of the laser. Next is monochromicity. In case of an ordinary light, from the same light source itself, different beams having different wavelength are released. So there will be different color. But in case of laser beam, all radiation will have same wavelength. So only a single color. This is known as monochromicity. What do you mean by coherence? Coherence is nothing but a fixed relationship between radiations of a particular beam having same wavelength. As I told you here, all radiation in the laser beam having same wavelength. So each radiation will have a particular waveform with a trough and crest. These are crest, these are trough. So in the laser beam, all radiation will have a fixed relation so that all the crest and all the trough will coincide. This fixed relation is known as coherence. The effect of laser on tissue depend upon various tissue factors as well as various laser factors. Tissue factors are absorption, scatter, thermal conductivity and local circulation. Laser factors include power density, duration and wavelength. Now coming to the various tissue interaction by the laser. Actually this is the most important portion of today's lecture because based on these tissue interaction only various medical applications of lasers are developed. So the tissue interactions are photocoagulation, photovaporization, photoablation and selective absorption. Let us see the major points in each of these interactions. First tissue reaction is photocoagulation. Here there is heating of tissue from 50 to 100 degrees Celsius so that the protein and molecules in the tissue get degraded and water from the tissue get expelled. Cells die and finally a photocoagulation burn develops. So there will be tissue shrinkage and loss of mechanical integrity of that tissue. So the application is tumor destruction and treatment of diabetic retinopathy. Bloodless incision can be made with the help of this tissue reaction because there will be coagulation of protein in the vessel wall. Here you can see the image of a patient with diabetic retinopathy which was treated with pan-retinal photocoagulation. Next is photovaporization. Here higher power densities of laser given to the tissue so that there will be quick heating of the tissue at a temperature more than 100 degrees Celsius. So the water in that tissue get boils and evaporates. Since each tissue contains more than 70% of water, there will be complete removal of that particular tissue. So this property can be used in hemostatic incision or excision and also for laser skin resurfacing. Here you can see the image of a patient who underwent laser skin resurfacing. The wrinkles in the lower eyelid is completely removed by the photovaporization property of the laser. Next tissue interaction is photoablation. Here high power lasers having wavelength of a UV light is used to break the chemical bond in the tissue without heating. So the zone of thermal interaction is limited. So this property can be used to make clean cut incisions. So the final tissue interaction is selective absorption. As I already told you, lasers are monochromatic in nature. So a given color of light is strongly absorbed by one type of tissue whereas it is transmitted by other. For example, oxyhemoglobin can absorb UV light, blue light, green light whereas melanin can absorb only infrared light. So this property can be used for laser hair removal and treatment of pigmented lesion. For hair removal, red light ruby laser can be used. Here one thing you have to remember is that only black hair can be removed with laser. White hair, no color, so cannot be treated with laser. In this image, you can see that the black hair in the leg of this patient nicely removed with the help of laser. Now coming to the medical lasers and their application. In this table, you can see some of the commonly used medical lasers and their properties. I will try to explain one or two salient features of most commonly used lasers in the coming slides. Okay, first one is excimer laser. Excimer lasers are excited dimer. Here the medium used is noble gas halide. Here photoablative tissue interaction is used. So heat is not produced. So this laser is known as cool laser. Ophthalmologic surgeries like LASIK and PRK are the application. Next one is organ laser. Here the depth of penetration is only 1 millimeter. That is superficial coagulation. So this laser can be used for precise cutting with minimal damage to the adjacent tissue. So the applications are retinal photocoagulation, arterial recanalization. Third one is dye laser. Dye lasers are pulsed laser. Here organic dye like chiton red or rhodamine can be used as the medium. These lasers are tunable, that is with the dye can be changed and the wavelength can be altered with the same laser. This can be used for the treatment of pigmented lesion such as port wine stain. In this image, you can see the post-procedure outcome of a patient with port wine stain treated with laser. Next one is carbon dioxide laser. This is the most effective laser scalpel. Here the zone of necrosis is only 0.1 millimeter. This laser have cutting as well as photo vaporization properties, so can be used for laser facelift. As I already showed you in one image, based on the property of photo vaporization, laser can be used for facelift and skin resurfacing. The carbon dioxide laser will seals off the lymphatics and vessels as it cuts, so tumor spread can be prevented. Next is the Nd:YAG laser, that is neodymium doped yttrium aluminum garnet. That is the most widely used laser in the medical field. Here there is high tissue penetration capacity of more than 7 millimeter. Then comes the erbium YAG laser. Here there is shallow penetration but having a greater surgical precision. Then comes the holmium YAG laser. Here, this can treat tissues in liquid filled environment. Most important thing, holmium YAG laser can treat tissue immersed in fluid environment. For this laser can be used for endoscopic laser procedures as well as arthroscopic surgeries. Next is the diode laser. Diode laser is a semiconductor that can emit laser when electricity is passed. So this is a tunable laser. That means the wavelength can be altered from the same laser itself. Here the delivery system is fibro optic, so can be used in endoscopic procedures. And finally KTP laser, that is potassium titanyl phosphate. Here also the delivery system is fibro optic, and this is the laser that is used for laparoscopic laser cholecystectomy. Now let us quickly summarize the applications of laser systematically. First is regarding gastrointestinal tract. Laser can be used for the treatment of vascular malformations of the GIT like gastric antrovascular ectasia, colonic vascular malformation. Here argon or Nd:YAG laser can be used with 80% reduction in rebleed. Upper GI malignancy, especially CA stomach and CA esophagus, laser Nd:YAG laser can be curative in case of early gastric carcinoma, and in case of advanced esophageal malignancy, laser can be used to recanalize the lumen and to relieve obstruction. Similarly, in case of colorectal malignancy, laser can be curative in early carcinoma like laser polypectomy, endoscopic mucosal resection laser can be used, as well as in advanced malignancy laser can be used to relieve obstruction as well as to prevent bleeding. In case of liver, Nd:YAG laser can be used to do bloodless liver resection, and also in situ ablation of intrahepatic malignancy can be done with the help of laser, especially metastatic solitary metastasis in the liver. Next is regarding bile duct stone. Laser lithotripsy can be tried with the help of coumarin pulsed dye laser. And carbon dioxide and Nd:YAG laser can be used for laser hemorrhoidectomy. Coming to laparoscopic surgeries, carbon dioxide, argon, Nd:YAG or KTP laser with a contact tip can be used to do laparoscopic surgery. So what are the laparoscopic surgery that can be done with the help of laser? Endometriosis, cholecystectomy, lymphadenectomy and posterior truncal vagotomy. Coming to neurosurgery, laser can be used to treat AV malformation and to resect highly vascular meningiomas and to do operation in lesions at inoperable site like base of skull, midbrain, floor of fourth ventricle, etc. In case of vascular surgery, the applications are laser endarterectomy, Laser angioplasty, carbon dioxide, argon or Nd:YAG laser can be used. Plaque ablation can be done. Laser assisted balloon angioplasty can be done in superficial femoral artery or common iliac artery. And in case of prosthetic graft stenosis, laser can be used to regenerate the lumen. In urology, that is the most common field where lasers are used. To remove the renal stone, that is known as laser lithotripsy. As I already told, coumarin based pulsed dye laser can be used. And in case of BPH, photo vaporization property of KTP laser can be used for instant debulking of the BPH. Here the bleeding is less when compared to conventional TURP. In case of ureteric or urethral stricture, Nd:YAG or KTP laser can be used to vaporize the fibrous tissue, thereby relieving the obstruction. This is known as laser stricturoplasty. And urothelial malignancy, transitional cell carcinoma of the bladder, ureter or renal pelvis can be treated with the help of laser. Finally, skin lesions. Carbon dioxide lasers are the most commonly used laser in dermatology field to treat condyloma acuminata, hemangioma, early penile cancer, and so many other skin conditions. Now coming to the final portion of today's lecture, that is advantages and disadvantages of laser. What are the advantages? Bloodless field, excellent hemostasis, excellent healing. It will allow precise microsurgery. There will be less postoperative pain and edema, and the infection rates are lower when compared to conventional surgeries, and many of the procedure can be done as OP based procedure. And the disadvantages are atmospheric contamination. So in hospital using laser surgeries, there must be a laser plume that should contain personal protective equipments like multi-layer mask, laser protective goggles, and a hazard control officer should be there to take care of atmospheric contamination. And other side effects are mutagenic and teratogenic effect. This can lead on to interstitial pneumonia and bronchiolitis. This is due to decreased mucociliary clearance. Misdirection of laser beam can lead on to perforation of hollow viscous or blood vessel that can be dangerous, and this can lead on to eye damage or skin damage. Fire explosion can happen and gas embolization can develop. That's all regarding lasers in surgery. Thank you.